like you're supposed to have it all together, but inside you're wondering how everyone else makes it look so easy, you're not alone. This is Southern Sisters, a place for women who want to grow without the guilt, find purpose in the messy middle, and be reminded that you were made for more. Make sure you stick around. We always save the bloopers for the end. Welcome to our episode of Southern Sisters. We're so glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our icebreaker question for today is, what is the pettiest thing you've ever sacrificed and instantly regretted? And my thing is, I sacrifice when my kids take my drink. I hate when my kids take my sip of my drink. I feel like I share so much as a mother that every time I let them have a sip because I feel bad. Like, you have those moments of guilt, and then you just see their saliva on the tongue of the...
Yes.
And I'm just like, what did
they
I just
blow
do?
bubbles if they're little kids.
I didn't even know this was a thing until we were at the zoo one time and Austin was little. And he was like, Mom, I'm thirsty. So I gave him some of my drink, and Megan was like... I was like, what? And then she's like, the care kids are like, I'm thirsty. And she's like, bottle for you, bottle for you, bottle for you. I was like, what? I only had one kid. You had like three.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is happening? You're like, we don't share water. I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing. I was all right. And then I figured it out. Oh, it's the backwash.
I'm with you, Megan.
Just can't. It's gross.
No, let me go get you your own water.
Yep.
Yeah, and they know, like, they try. Sometimes some try harder than others, but they try to get a sip of my drink, and I'm like, no, that's the line. I share everything. I will give you my sweater. I will give you my last bite of food. Our mom never did that.
Never.
Like, she loved the last bite. It was like holy, right?
Mom's drink is the best, though.
Mom's
Mom has
drink is
the perfect
best.
amount of ice to liquid.
Yeah.
My children will never know. Like, I just refuse.
It was a big thing in our mom's family. They used to steal each other's last bites, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like it was a thing.
It was a
You're
thing.
a bunny.
I was funny. She's so proud that she's funny.
My children will never know.
Yeah.
Never.
Never ever will they know. So that's the thing. Oh, I was also going to say, I'm just weird about certain things like the drink sharing, but like we went with my oldest son. We were at water polo last weekend, and he, it's the night we get there, we get checked in the hotel, and I was like, are you going to brush your teeth? And he's like, actually, I forgot my toothbrush. And I was like, oh. I'm like, well, that stinks for you. And so the next day I went and had to go get snacks at Aldi. And so I was like, I'll just pick up another toothbrush for him. No big deal. And so I get a toothbrush for him, but I leave it in the car. And so that next night we went back to the hotel after the day of water polo. And I was about to get in the shower. Luke had already showered and everything. And he was laying there. And I was like, oh, you got to go get your toothbrush. I left it in the car. And he's like, I'm okay. And I'm like, no, really, go get your toothbrush. And he's like, actually, I used your toothbrush just now. And I was like, what did you just say to me?
And was not going to tell you.
No, he wasn't. And I was like, you mean you just used your new toothbrush? Go to the car and get my toothbrush, please and thank you.
Right?
And he was like, what? I was like, no, that's disgusting. He goes, I washed it with soap and water. No.
No.
I said, I don't even share toothbrushes with your dad. And
No.
Use
I
your
don't either.
finger
Okay.
if
I
you
can't.
have to.
All
I
right.
can't. I would never do that with even Adam. That probably makes me crazy.
Yeah,
but-
that's gross.
So,
Yep.
yeah, sacrifice.
Gosh,
Go
being a
get your
mom.
stuff. It's crazy.
Yep.
My petty thing was picking out movies. Like anytime Jared and I have to pick out a movie, it's always like, just like food. Anytime we pick out food, like he's moody about stuff. And so like I have to just let him pick.
He's
Or-
the chick.
Yes.
in the
Or he will look at things forever for us both to find something we both want to watch. But I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. I just let him pick. And then I'm like, oh, I can't believe we have to watch blah, 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 blah. But normally I just ask him to pick out an old movie that he's seen because he's 8 years older than me. So I'm like, what's a movie that you like that's like older that I've probably never seen?
Smart.
Yeah. So that's helped us.
So, for our Ask a Sister question, we're diving deep into this one about our own personal psyche and what we like and don't like about ourselves.
I mean, y'all asked, so.
This was an Ask a Sister question. Do any of your children have one of your traits that you're not so proud of? If so, what one?
Oh, man.
This is a good question.
It's a really
is a
great
good
question. Katie, you rock.
Evie, go first. She's got something.
Okay. For me, it's Brody has my attitude. He does. Josh is always like, right there. That's you right there. He'll be like, I don't want to do that. Or like even has a hard time like saying sorry. That's me. I have a hard time saying I'm sorry for things. Like I remember being little and my dad telling me to apologize for something. And I just like laid on the floor because I was like, I just can't say it. And I just could not say sorry. And I just like laid on the floor because I just,
So stubborn,
I just didn't want to say it. And that's Brody.
gosh.
He has my attitude. I'm like,
That's so funny.
I love
That's
it.
amazing. Oh
my
I
gosh.
love that. I feel like I just learned so much about you, Evie.
Couldn't you see her doing that too?
Yeah.
Like,
so
laying on
it's
the
a
floor?
good thing I'm married to Josh because he's pretty quick to apologize.
Yeah, that's good.
And
That is great.
except for sometimes to be like, is there anything you want to say to me? And I'm like, no. Because
Oh my gosh.
I like to apologize in my own time. I don't like people telling
Don't
me.
you tell me when to do it.
Anything you want?
Exactly.
Is there anything you want to say to me?
No,
No. That's
That's
funny.
hard.
that's Jared.
Courtney, do you have one?
Yes. One of my children, which should not be named because I don't want to embarrass them, is really boy crazy.
Oh man, you were.
It's Everly.
100% boy crazy. It's Everly. Yeah, she's crazy about boys.
You were totally.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that stops with that kid and doesn't, happen
had
with any
4
other
girls,
ones.
though,
I know.
so-
I know. I'm like getting
Odds
karma.
are not in your favor.
I'm getting karma from every single thing that I did growing up.
Yeah,
So-
I feel that way. Mine is that I have a handful of my kids that bite their nails. And that's my karma because I did it for years. Just bite my nails. And I'm like, part of the reason I stopped biting my nails is because I got married. And my husband
Yeah.
was like, that's really gross. I don't want to kiss you when you got your hands in your mouth.
Oh, and you're
And I'm
like,
like, okay, game changer. I'll just not
Right.
bite my nails anymore because I like
Yeah.
kisses. So. Deal.
yep.
So how do we do that with our kids? I don't know.
You don't. It's got to be self-motivated.
Yeah.
Some of these things that we struggle with
Yeah.
just have to come from within us.
Yes.
Otherwise, it won't change.
Well, they used to sell this thing called Stop the Bite. And because I used it, I used to be a nail biter too. Because my sister was a nail biter. And so I watched her and I was like, oh, I guess I should bite my nails. And then I remember like getting older and being like, I want to have pretty nails and I want to paint my nails and I want them to look pretty. And so I remember seeing this thing called Stop the Bite, and you put it on your nails, and then every time you bite your nails, it just tastes
tastes
nasty and it lingers in your mouth, and that helped me. I don't even know if they sell it anymore. Probably not. Probably had a
They
bunch
have
of
so many of those
bad
things.
stuff.
They
in
have
it
so
for you.
many of them.
They have a lot
Right.
still.
And I've never been consistent enough to do it.
I would say just the ones that pop into my head. Austin does the what if in his head at night before bed, like I used to, like before I got a hold of it. Like, what if somebody comes into the house and robs our house? What do we?
Oh,
What
that's
is the
me.
evacuation plan if there's a fire?
that did do that real
I
bad.
did. It was. It's ADD. It's so part of it being ADD. You have to learn to turn it off and shut it off. But so it's been great that I could teach him that. But I'm like, that thing in his head, it would go every night, and I've watched that. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry that came from me. Kennedy being loud and a control freak. She, even to the point where she's more of a perfectionist, sort of like Adam is. So those two combination is a little tough sometimes, but she'll like move your arm like this when we're snuggling. I'm like, can you just place my arm and tell me where to put it? But they're just so cute.
Caleb jumping off stuff. You do that all the time.
Caleb, it's actually super annoying that he charms himself out of trouble. And I remember doing that. And as a mom, I hate it because he literally, yesterday, we were eating dinner and he was like throwing stuff off his tray onto the floor. And it always drives us crazy because he makes a huge mess. And so Adam was like, don't throw stuff off your tray. Leave it on the thing. And he grabs some breadstick and he goes, blip. Like watched him. And then Adam was like, Caleb, and like make the face. And then Caleb goes, ugh. And made the same face as Adam. And I was like, Like, it was so funny. And Adam kept a straight face. And I couldn't believe he did it. But he had me and Kennedy and Austin laughing so hard. And he was like, the face. I'm like, I knew when I was younger that if I could make my mom laugh, I could stay up longer and she wouldn't be mad at me.
Oh yeah, for sure. I remember you doing that.
So
all the
annoying.
time.
Manipulation.
Yeah. And how did they come like that? They just come like that. He's 2 and can do that already. I'm like, dang it.
It's a gift.
Yeah, it is.
I love it. Okay, so before we jump into our episode today, we are going to just have a few words about our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at AAA Life Solutions, where peace of mind meets practical planning. Whether you're just starting to think about life insurance or looking to protect the legacy you've already built, the team at AAA helps you find calm in the chaos with clear, faith-based guidance. They believe planning your future shouldn't feel stressful, it should feel peaceful, and they provide peaceful solutions in uncertain times. Give them a call at 901-508-2433. We are super grateful for Adam and Renee and Donna, all the folks at AAA Life. They're amazing. Okay, so today we are going to talk about sacrifice. And the reason why I felt like this was an important episode topic is because it feels like in the world that we live in today that people just want the end result. They don't want to do what it takes to get there.
It's the work.
It's the work. It's the sacrifice. It's the process of that. And so I kind of wanted to take a step back and look at sacrifice and kind of delve into that and kind of share our thoughts on that so we could talk about it as a group. So today we are talking a little bit about sacrifice and what that means and what that looks like. So our first question we want to talk about, and we're only going to say this question, is how do you know when God is calling you to surrender something good for something better? Because that is the definition of sacrifice. It's giving up something.
Yes.
But you don't know when it's happening.
No.
Like, almost never. And also, it always looks, for me, it always looks worse. Like, you're like, this is going to be way worse than what I thought. And it ends up far better.
Being way better.
Yeah. I had an experience this past week, which once this comes out, it'll be 3 weeks ago. But there was stuff going on at my old agency that we used to be a part of. And I am so far out of it that I don't ever hear stuff anymore. But all of a sudden I started getting text messages and screenshots and stuff from all these people that were hurting, and stuff was falling apart, and people were being treated really awful. And all weekend I felt like I needed to say something, but I just didn't want to, truly. And was like, I don't want to get in the middle of it. I'm uninvolved. I'm so happy over here in my little happy place with all my amazing agents in our agency, and we're having a wonderful time. And I just want to stay away from all that. And it became really clear several days later. And I was talking to Kim, and she's like, I said, I feel like I need to say something and I don't want to. And she's like, Lindsay, your story is so similar to what's happening right now, except worse. And she's like, they need to hear what you have to say. And so I was like, ugh. So there were people bashing them online and saying really awful things. And so I posted a video, and it was like 6 minutes. I'm like, nobody's going to watch this in this like scroll world. And I just talked about how what I experienced, and in a very light way, and just how you don't know what you know until you know, and how, like, not to feel stupid. And my whole message was just like, you don't know that stuff is happening sometimes until you do. And once you do know, then you can make a decision to do the right thing. And to just be okay with how things are changing. And so the whole message was just sort of me getting it out there. And what I didn't plan on happening was, it felt like Kim texted me the next day, and she's like reading all these comments, like comment after comment after comment of people that just felt like they were seen and heard. I didn't expect any of that to happen. I wanted to say my piece and to put good out there. And what I didn't realize what happened was it gave people a voice that they felt like somebody was speaking right to them and not in a nasty way or judging them, and that had been there and had been through it. And so Kim the next day was like, this feels like a hashtag Me Too moment. Like all these people were feeling the same way, and it like brought together all these people. The views were crazy. I'm like, I can't believe people sat there 6.5 minutes of me talking. But it was such a cool thing to happen because it was such an encouraging comment section. It was like people were sharing these things, but in a good way, like watching the change happen. And it made me think about the sacrifice, where at the time when I was fired, and I talk about this back in episode, 16? So if you want to hear the whole story, it's back in episode 16. But it made me think about when all that happened and all the trauma and drama, and you guys know because you went through it with me at the time. When all that happened, I thought I was on the path to go do this thing. And when everything blew up, like it was this really cool opportunity, I watched the Lord lead me down this path. And then everything blew up and exploded and ended up nothing like I thought it would look. And now I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was so we could build something way greater than the thing that I thought I wanted. But at the time, it just felt like chaos and awful trauma and heartbreak. But it
You
was
were like, I'm done.
yeah, yes. And it was Adam that got me out of that. But I remember like looking at it now in hindsight, of course, is 2020. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that happened. And that I was able to sacrifice that thing and to still have enough confidence, I guess, to step into what I was meant to do. And now I'm like, I wouldn't trade that for anything. Like what we've built, who we've met, the experiences we've had, the people we've brought together, the family we've built, where my family has traveled. Like
You wouldn't have Kim as your business
no,
partner.
none of that. And had I not been there and gone through that, I would have never met Kim.
Yeah.
You know, and so that has been one of the greatest blessings of my life, is to watch all that happen. And in the moment, it doesn't feel like you're sacrificing. Like, I mean, it doesn't feel like you're getting something better. And so that's how I feel about all of these people now. I wanted them to know that, because I'm like, you know, the grass is greener on the other side. No matter where you end up, you're going to follow your heart and end up where you're meant to be. But it does get a lot better. And really good on the other side if you have the courage to take a step in that direction. But you don't know when you're in it.
Nope.
I kind of do know if like I'm feeling really convicted about something and I'm like, why do I feel so strongly about this?
Yeah.
And then I'm like scared and like terrified of like what the outcome would be, because it's completely out of
Your comfort zone.
Nice. You're about to pee yourself over there.
what? I look over at Megan and she's going, her hair all in her face.
She's tired.
Speak that truth, Courtney. Speak it. Like, hey, you're in this. You're not just listening, okay?
Wait, you're on camera, Megan.
Anyways, I was saying,
What was Megan? Do it again.
not not every surrender feels like a loss, though. Sometimes it just feels like a trade up in trust.
Yes.
Like you're just trading trusting for
To take a scary step.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it feels like, why am I feeling so strongly about this? And then why
fear
is this so
kicks in.
scary? Yeah.
It's
And then
terrifying.
that's
It
when
is.
I know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yes.
that's when I know it's going to
glad you
be
said
real
that.
good.
It is
So it's
true.
yeah, it's just it. I mean, that's the way it's always happened, and I've done enough scary things to know that it's so much better than you expect.
Yeah.
So much better.
If you follow that inner voice, like if you followed that inspired action that you're supposed to take and you have the courage to do it, it will change your life forever in so many different ways.
There's a reason why people are passionate about certain things. Some people have really strong gifts for things. They just haven't uncovered them yet. So it's like if people can think about what they're really passionate about and just be led by that inner conviction, like that is part of listening to that voice.
Yeah.
So if
And
there's-
your gifts you've given.
So
I love how you said that.
I had something happen to me recently. I in church, I had a calling as a Sunday school teacher over the, I think it's like 11 and 12-year-olds. And at first, like, I wasn't like that nervous about it. I do get nervous like having to teach in front of people, but if it's like kids.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Teens.
And the person I was having to teach like once a month because I had somebody teach with me, and so we would just trade off. And she's a friend of mine, so I was like very comfortable in it. I was like, okay, I'm comfortable in this. I like it. And then recently I got released from that calling in church, and I got called to Relief Society, which is like a women's organization in our church, and you do a lot of service.
It's the grown-up women.
It's the grown-up women, and you do a lot of service. You kind of have to get to know everybody in the ward, and I feel like it's a lot more responsibility because I feel like Sunday school is kind of just like a Sunday thing, and Relief Society, I feel like it's more of like a in church and outside of church type of calling. And so I remember when they asked me if I would accept the calling, I was just kind of like very hesitant about it.
He's like, I want to say no. I want to say no.
Yes, because I was like, no, I'm comfortable where I'm at. Like the person I teach with is my friend. Like I like this gig.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love my kids. Like the kids were awesome. And both my mom and my sister have been Relief Society presidents in their wards. And so I kind of know like the struggles that come with it sometimes. But I accepted the calling. And then I like the way that it happened was the person that used to have that calling, she's in Young Women's now. And then the person that had the Young Women's calling, she has my calling now. So it's like we all kind of switched. So I was just kind of wondering, like, you know, who called me to this? Like, was it the Relief Society president, or did they just kind of just switch us around? Like, because I wanted it to feel like it was inspired, I guess. And so the Relief Society president, she was like, hey, can I come over to your house and just kind of tell you like what I want you to do, you know, with your calling? And I was like, yeah, sure. So she came over, she told me what she wanted me to do. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, this doesn't sound too bad. And so she sent me a text message after. I want to read really fast. Oh, sorry. I'm the Relief Society secretary, which is
Very important.
And that's the thing.
You don't have to talk to too many people.
At first, I was like, "Oh, secretary, like that's not that bad. That's not that bad."
Yeah. Right.
So she just said that she said it's been on my mind, and I feel like I need to share with you that you are needed here in Relief Society. You weren't just part of a calling swap. Your name came to my mind so fast when I was praying about a secretary, and I knew that you had so much to bring to our Relief Society sisters. I hope you know that you are needed at this time for the women in our ward.
Aww.
So that just meant
so
a lot
sweet.
to me. And she also asked me later, like, would you feel comfortable teaching? And that my two big, like, I will never do is teach Relief Society or teach adult Sunday school, because there's just something about
It's
teaching.
intimidating.
I know.
Yes, it is.
Me too.
And so I was like, I'm not very comfortable with that right now, but I'll let you know if my mind changes. But then she was like, would you feel comfortable conducting, which is kind of just like greeting everybody, saying what the hymn is going to be, telling them about activities. And so I was like, you know what, Evie, like, you need to grow.
Yeah.
Like,
Good job. Good
and
job.
so I
Evie.
said, yes, I will conduct. And
Good job.
I know I will teach.
Yep.
I want to do it. I do.
Good.
But for
Your
right
voice
now,
needs to
I
be
just
heard.
told her, I was like, I'll let you know when I'm
Evie, just
comfortable
FYI,
with
there
that.
are like hundreds of people that are listening to you right now that you're sort of teaching as you're talking through all this
And they're
stuff.
all adults. Well, most of them are adults.
And that little room of people is gonna be like nothing compared to this. Just pretend like you're on the podcast.
right?
Yes, that's true. My sister was like, you know, just because she was saying her secretary isn't comfortable with teaching either, but she was like, but I promise I'll participate when whoever's teaching. And I was like, okay, that's a good idea. Like, I'm gonna try to do a better job
Yeah,
at
speaking up.
participating in the lessons and speaking up and stuff like that. But I just feel like that's one of those things for me. Like, I feel like God is asking me to do something that's uncomfortable for me and out of my box. And even like having the fact that I'm going to have to like talk to more people and get to know more people, I know that's going to be for my betterment.
And it's
And my growth.
Yeah, your growth.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Evie.
I had the perfect quote that fits this. It says, maybe it had to happen because God knew I wouldn't move unless I was forced to. Maybe he saw the parts of me that were too comfortable, too afraid, Too unwilling to let go. Maybe he knew that without the breaking, I'd never see the beauty of surrender. The pain felt cruel, the loss felt unfair, but maybe, just maybe, it was mercy in disguise. Maybe it had to happen, not because God wanted me to suffer, but because he wanted me to grow into who he knew I could be. And that kind of leads me to think, what does healthy sacrifice look like in this season of our lives? Like, you don't want to think of sacrifice as like giving your all and not being depleted, I guess, is the way I would think about it. So how do you have balance when it comes to sacrifice? Because you can surrender everything.
That's true.
I think sacrifice looks like no doom scrolling. I think it looks like getting up early when I really don't want to, waking up with a happy attitude when my kids wake me up, even though I really need to sleep longer. I think it looks like less screen time and more face-to-face time. I think just sacrificing things of this world to have greater things.
Yeah. I think it's prioritizing the things that are going to make you a better person. Like, even the other day, Josh went to go play basketball and the kids were all in bed, and I just sat down and watched the show, and I was like, could I be doing something better than watching this? Like, do I really need to be binge watching this right now?
Yeah.
No. I could be doing something else.
Look at you.
And I need to
growing.
go to bed
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
be tired tomorrow.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Totally.
That is what
that
sacrifice
matters.
looks
I
like.
feel like right now my sacrifice is media. Like, I'm super conscious and aware of the things that I let into my life, be it television, movies, and music.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, okay, there's a lot of really great things, but I'm going to sacrifice maybe what sounds good for something that is better for me.
Yeah.
And something that lets us have the Holy Ghost with us.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I think the
that's great.
struggle in for a lot of people is like, after you put your kids to bed, like, that's the only free time you have. But you also have the other side where you're like, I know I should go to bed because I'm going to be tired tomorrow. But you're like, but then this is my only free time.
That quiet
parent's
is addicting.
struggle.
It's
Yeah.
so addicting when you don't have it all day long.
what have you seen growth come through letting go and sacrifice? How do we have growth come?
When I was thinking about sacrifice, I thought about how different my life looks now than what it did 10 years ago. I was coming out of a relationship and had no idea what I was going to do with my life, and got my insurance license. And I think it would have been a lot easier to go and work for somebody and be told exactly what to do, and just get a paycheck. And starting a business from scratch, you're definitely sacrificing the ease of, like, the comfort of, you know, just knowing that a paycheck's coming, especially when you're commission only. So there were a lot of things at the beginning that I had to sacrifice to be able to build the business that we have today. And it was really, really hard. It was a lot of long nights. It was a lot of weekend working. It was a lot of, I remember selling a policy to somebody on a carousel. I was literally on my lap, riding a carousel selling insurance because I was just trying to feed my family. And you sacrifice time for yourself. Any free time was building my business. Any extra time was, you know, doing the things that I couldn't do when I was working at home. Also, I thought about how you sacrifice being there for all the little moments of the things that you're going to miss from your kids when you're not with them. I'll never forget leaving for work when I was first starting, and I remember seeing Atticus, and he was like, he was little, and he'd went upstairs to the bedroom window, and he was just looking out the window and waving bye to me, and I just remember being like, I am not going to do this forever. Like, this is the worst feeling. And I just remember thinking, like, I am doing this because I love him so much and he needs to be taken care of. I think that there's certain things when you have to provide for your family and you just don't have other options, that you miss out on, you have to sacrifice because you're just trying to take care of your family. Understanding from others was another thing I thought of. Sacrificing. There were so many times when I felt so intense and everybody else around me thought I was so intense and so inflexible. And I kind of felt like if I did anything to like sway from the plan of how I knew I'd get to somewhere, then my whole world would come crashing down. And I would just be, if I didn't keep going, if I stopped moving for a minute, it would all come crashing down is what it felt like. And also financial security. So, like sacrificing financial security of knowing a paycheck's coming in. And then also just having control of anything. So whenever I added several things to figure out what I wanted to do. Every single year I added something different, and it took a while for me to figure out what I wanted to make my business and how I wanted to have it be. And I just kind of, the more I was doing it, the more I realized first of all, what I was good at and how I could help people and what I love to do. And then second of all was like, what is going to be what I can do to be home with my family. So, I guess just building a business is a sacrifice in itself, and
and so many people don't see that side of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just see the success that you have at the end of a journey. They don't see the pain and the sacrifice and the things you had to give up to get to that point.
Yeah. And now the healthy sacrifice for me looks like giving up my personal accolades and like my own personal goals and things that like I could do to make way more money if I just work, to help like people that are coming into my business that are working for me and with me. Like I'm helping train them, and I'm sacrificing like putting my head down and working to be able to like bring other people into what we have. And it's amazing to see them enjoy the fruits of what I worked so hard for, because they can just come in and it's a blessing to their family. And I have my friend that I hired that I was talking to her son, and he was like, he didn't know what he wants as a job and he wasn't feeling motivated about stuff. And I was like, I don't work so that I can make money to buy things for ourselves because we're super commercialistic or whatever. Like I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by the things I can do with money. I'm motivated because your mom has a job right now because I've worked so hard to be able to make enough so I could help bring her in too. One day, don't you want to be able to bless a family because you've worked so hard and tried to follow what God wanted you to do? That is the coolest feeling, and it took me so long to get there, but it is so cool to be able to bless other people's families. I'm sure you feel like that too, and you do at the chiropractic. Like
it's 125 families we got right now, and you're like, it is such a blessing to pay out commissions for me. Like, it sounds so stupid because who would be excited to just watch all this money go? It is one of the greatest joys of my life to watch people replace their incomes and like quit their jobs. Like that is a high I could do over and over again and watch that happen and see all the money that is flowing to other people because of something you've built. And yes, while it looks like you're so successful and you're going to all these places and having all this stuff, and it took so long to get to that point. Nobody sees the hours and hours, and that is the difference. There are people that want the end result but are unwilling to do the work. And if you're willing, that's the only thing that stands between you and success. Is, are you willing to do the work that it takes to get there and pivot sometimes when it doesn't work out, going a different direction and making it work and loving it enough? That is the difference. If you want to be successful, you just have to work and have the courage to take a step forward.
Somebody told me that like time is the great equalizer. Everybody gets the same exact amount of time.
Yeah.
What they do with it is what makes the difference in people.
Yep.
I love that.
So when I look back, I realized I wasn't just building a business, that God was building me as I was building this business. And it's just the growth that I had through all of the different things I had to experience was definitely shaping me into the person that I needed to be right now. So
I think sacrifice allows you to see patterns in growth and how you grow. And that as you work towards aligning your will with God's, that it's going to make a beautiful life. It's going to take work. It's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take doing the uncomfortable thing. But the person you're becoming is who you're meant to be. And I think there's so much power in recognizing that whenever you do have to kind of step outside of your comfort zone and take that walk and do that thing that is uncomfortable and that you don't want to do. Our reflection question for this time is, what's one area where obedience feels costly right now? And kind of like Courtney was saying earlier, if you find that you're passionate about something, but you still feel that fear, pay attention to that, because those are the golden nuggets that you're meant to collect in this life, is those moments that pushed you out of your comfort zone. Maybe you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit, and it's not going to look like you think it will, but it doesn't mean that it's not exactly perfect. All right. And until next time,
keep striving. We'll see y'all soon.
Now it's time for the
Bloopers.
so how do you know when God's calling you to surrender something good for something better? So my first thought,
don't know.
you don't.
No, you don't know.
You don't know ever. But what do you do? Like, so how do you sacrifice something when you want something else, or when life doesn't look like you think it should, or when you feel called to do something and you don't know how? Like, those are all really loaded questions, and I'm sorry.
You just peppered us with really
And
deep questions.
go.
And what's the meaning of life? And what are we doing here on Earth? We just put them all together. And then she's like,
Okay.
holy crap, give us one.
Rewind. Okay. So
the question on the paper.
Stick with the question on the
stick to the script.
No,
Yes.
no, do it.
Where is this?
Totally out of panic.
Did you do different questions?
I changed the whole thing in between when you all printed it and right now.
God told me to, so I surrendered it, and it's something better. Right now, I feel like I don't know.
you in practice what that looks like. We're going to change the entire episode right now.
I'm sacrificing the stories I was gonna tell for the ones that I'm gonna come up with all by myself right now.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, this is why I'm taking over. All right.
Sweaty, no, don't do it. No.
So how do you know? How do you know, Lindsay?
We saw that one last time. It was crazy.
Okay, it was like the third episode. Courtney's like, I'm the third child. I must. Okay,
Megan's done.
Well, we're on the third episode, so
am
get
not-
it together.
Okay. Don't give it to
Some
me.
caffeine.
Here's what I want to talk about with
Wait.
sacrifice.
Remember when we come back from laughing
easy.
and we're like, after we've been like, and blah, blah, blah.
I gotta stop crying.
McKay knows.
Wait, I need to still be sitting in the same way. Okay.
Make sure that the microphone isn't at your throat, because you can hear it in the whatchamacallit.
Okay.
You can?
In the audio. You can hear it when you're
You heard it?
Okay. Okay.
Ooh, okay, we got this.